Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got a short little video for you today, and I do apologize for the camera angle. The sun's coming down right in opposition to the direction I'd like to have the camera, which is on the breech side of the gun, but let's flip it around so you can see here. This gun that I am shooting today is the Weatherby Vanguard in 6.5 Creedmoor. Hello, pup. This gun is in the MDT LSS XL chassis. Kind of a sweet looking little package. It is in the Veil camo. The whole thing, barrel, receiver, all of it. We do have an AICS pattern box magazine here, I believe, and I could be wrong about that. I'll have to try my other AICS magazines to make sure, but I believe that's what we've got. This gun is not mine. A coworker of mine needed some 6.5 Creedmoor ammo, so I told him if he lends me his gun, I will test it out and make sure my normal 6.5 Creedmoor load works in it just fine. And it does. I've been actually shooting some really good groups with this gun. It does only have, I believe this is a 20-inch barrel. I'm going to measure it to make sure. It's either 20 or 22-inch. Not sure. Kind of looks right around the 20-inch. Kind of a nice little package. It is on the heavy side. We do have kind of a thicker barrel and an aluminum chassis. This thing is solid as a rock. I will tell you that. He has got a Hogue grip on it. This gun does take AR-15 style buttstocks and grips. And I'm not sure what came on it or if this is what came on it, but he's got the Hogue grip here and a Luth AR buttstock. I was kind of happy to get a chance to try out the Luth AR stock to see if I like it. I had been thinking about putting one on my Grendel, and I'm glad that I got to try it first. I think I'll probably go a different direction. It works, it's good, but it's probably not what I would choose. Let's shoot this gun a little bit. I am going to put it over the chronograph here and see what I get. I was getting about 2,700 feet per second or 2,750, somewhere in that area, out of my 24-inch barrel, if I'm remembering correctly. And this load is almost the same as what I was loading before, except that this is with the 123 grain AMAX bullet and Winchester brass. Just kind of some plinking ammo I loaded up here, but it should be almost identical. The charge weight is 38.4 grains of Varget. Let's go ahead and load up. Let's go ahead and take 5 shots and see how we can group them here. Let me flip the chronograph on. The scope on top of this gun, I don't think I mentioned. This is a BSA Sweet 22 scope, and the owner of this rifle specifically requested we not make fun of the scope. He knows that this is probably not the right scope for the gun, but it actually works decently well. It's a pretty clear optic. I would probably put this on a 22 LR if I had one needing a scope, and it doesn't seem to be too bad. We're just shooting at 50 yards today. We've got it up to 9 power. It is a 3 to 9 variable scope, and we should be zeroed for about a ½ an inch high at 50. It is a good feeding gun. Let's take a few shots here and see what happens. I don't have a target camera set up just because this is going to be such a short video. Make sure it's on fire. We're going to talk about this trigger in just a minute here. But it's got it's a 2-stage trigger, very defined take-up, defined wall, and a fairly crisp break. Barely any recoil on that 6.5 Creed. Of course, I am probably comparing to my Bergara when I shoot this rifle. It is kind of right in that same class. The action on this is definitely not as smooth, but that actually might be a good thing for hunting, and I believe this is kind of set up as a hunting package. the bolt does not come open near as easily, and it's not like there's abnormal resistance. There's not. It's just, I think it's got a little more solid lockup, which might be nice for when you're walking around. It does feed really smoothly, but that bolt just stays in place a little better. It doesn't come up. I'm probably going to throw my group wide because I've been talking in between shots, but we'll see what we get here. Guys, I've probably said this 100 times, but I love 6.5 Creedmoor. It is my absolute favorite caliber to shoot. All right, there's a 5-shot group at 50 yards. Let's go take a look at the target. Average of 2669. Oh, those numbers are kind of off. 2669, so 30 feet per second lower than our 24-inch barrel. Not too bad. Okay, so this first shot I am calling completely on me up here. Not really used to shooting this gun, and that was our cold bore shot. The other 4 shots went into guessing 0.3. Right there, 0.3 or 0.4. Now this is at 50 yards, so we're not at 100, but still, that is an excellent little group. 1 shot right there in the center, 3 in that one little ragged hole, and then this up here, which was a cold bore / my shooting. I'm probably going to take 1 more group before the day is out, but that's pretty good already. Let's go back and look at the gun a little bit closer. All right, I am going to come around to the other side of this gun because of what the sun is doing right now. See if I can get out of its way just a little bit. So, here it is. Nice looking gun for sure. The one thing I wanted to talk about here is this trigger. And it is not the actual pull on the trigger that I have issue with. The trigger pull is actually excellent. I would guess it's about 3 pounds, but super light and crisp. What I have issue with is this gigantic trigger guard and a little tiny itty bitty short trigger. It's a little weird. Now this could be changed out with the grip, but when I have my hand on this grip, my finger naturally wants to fall like right here, and that gets a little weird. I can put it up here, but it still kind of, naturally falls down. This trigger is really short, and I don't have gigantic fingers. In fact, they're pretty narrow, but my finger takes up that entire trigger blade. And yeah, it's just a little bit different. That's my biggest gripe about this whole gun. Otherwise, it is kind of a cool package. And as you can see, shoots pretty darn good. When I was shooting 3-shot groups before, just to make sure this load was safe in this gun, it was putting them all in the same hole at 50 yards. So that is pretty cool. Let's see here, I think that is really all I have to say about this particular gun. Again, it is a Weatherby Vanguard chambered in a 6.5 Creedmoor, and pretty neat little package. Let's go ahead and shoot another 5-shot group and see if I can do better than I did the first time. Another thing, and this is going to be good for hunting, not great for everything else. This magazine release, it's way thinner and smaller than the trigger guard. Trigger guard's probably 7/8 of an inch wide, and that magazine release can be just a little bit tricky to get to. I mean, it's really not. In fact, and it releases really easily. It's just not out from the sides of the trigger guard at all, so you do have to kind of reach in to get to it. I probably don't have as much to say about this gun as I would if it were one of mine that I'd had for a long time, because I just haven't had that much experience with it. I've shot, I think, 6 or 8 rounds through it before today. So you guys are getting kind of my more or less my first impressions of this rifle, and you probably won't see that much more. And that's all right. I would prefer a much straighter grip on this, especially with how it's set up with this nice chassis and everything. If it had a straighter grip on it, that trigger would be at a much better spot. It'd feel much more natural, that's for sure. I'm going to try to keep my cheek on the rest at all times while shooting this group. I got a little hang up in feeding there. Had to take my cheek off for that one. Very well could have been my fault running the action. And again, that shot did not feel as good as it probably should have. So, not sure what that's going to do to the group. But let's go take a look at it. Well, there you go, guys. So that was the first 4 shots up there. And then that last shot that I called, that I pulled just a little bit, dropped just a little bit low. Still an excellent little group there. Probably a 0.45 or 0.5 on that group size at 50 yards overall. And I'm going to be real happy with that. And I hope that my coworker who's getting this ammo will be as well. One more thing I'll show you before I close out. Since I was keeping my cheek on the cheek rest the entire time, I was just letting the shells eject where they wanted to. Look at that, all 5 of them right in that same spot in the lid of this ammo box. That's a pretty good ejection pattern, and I probably wasn't the most consistent on the stroke, so that's something to be said for it. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. Thanks to my coworker for letting me borrow this gun to get his load worked up. I actually didn't do any load work up on this at all. I just loaded my standard 123 grain planking load for 6.5 Creedmoor, and it seems to be working great. So we're just going to go with this load for now. I have told him that if he wants something different in the future, if he wants a 140 grain match load, if he wants a hunting load or whatever, I'd be happy to work that up for him. So we may be seeing this gun again in the future. And if so, I will make sure to make a video about it then. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this short little video here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications. Give this video a thumbs up. And check us out over on Patreon and Instagram. We are going to be doing some more guest loads in the future. Planning to load for 30-06 in a few months here for a friend's rifle that he's going to take on a bear hunt. So that should be pretty fun. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and y'all have a good one.